What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Montana Method podcast once again. As always, your host, Nelson Rodriguez Jr., author of Montana Method. Today, I have an awesome guest, good friend of mine. I've known him for quite a few years, UFC veteran and an MMA badass, Danny Chavez.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really out here in these streets. That's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no. But now I want it all. Promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags to riches. Rags to riches. Came from rags.
What's up, Danny?
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Good to see you, bro.
Cool.
It's been a while.
Yep.
Bro, you know what's crazy? So you know how in the middle of the pandemic, the only sport that was on was UFC. They were the only ones putting on fights, no sports, nothing. So I was already a UFC fan, but then I went from being a UFC fan to like only watching UFC because it was the only thing on. And then I see, Danny Chavez. I was like, wait, he's going to fight? That was awesome, bro. Where the fight was it? Was it in Abu Dhabi?
No. That was actually in Vegas.
In Vegas.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Abu Dhabi one, it was Fight Island, and it was only, they were having some of them over there. I never got lined up for those. It would have been cool. But at the same time, believe it or not, it would have been a little inconvenient because, remember, the UFC covered like one of your coaches, maybe two, but you normally take three. One that helps you coach.
So you have to pay for one of the coaches to go. That would have been expensive.
Yeah, exactly. That would have been an expensive flight. You know what I mean? And I heard like the weight cutting when it comes down to traveling like that, like people having trouble cutting weight. So why I don't understand, but that's what I always heard. People had trouble when they had to go to Abu Dhabi. They had trouble like cutting weight and stuff. I don't know what it was about. Retaining water,
the travel, the jet lag. You're tired.
I don't really know, but like that's what you hear, and I don't have the problem with Vegas. Vegas is fine.
No, yeah, Vegas is just probably a couple hours. You're there, you're fast. Yeah, that was cool, and it was mid-pandemic, and I saw that whole fight. It was dope, bro. It was cool to see you get signed, and I saw the weigh, and I saw everything. It was awesome. Yeah, bro. You're still over at MMA Masters?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that's where Kobe Covington trains, no?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's strange. He's like a white dude in the middle of Hialeah. Hialeah is like the most Spanish place on the planet. That's funny, bro. I remember one time I think they were doing the pay-per-view, the press conference for when he was fighting Masvidal, and he was like, "Yeah, he lives in Broward. I live in Miami. I live in Hialeah." And I'm like, "Bro, what do you know about Hialeah, guy? Get out of here."
He's been already what? He's been with us for like 3 years.
Okay.
So, but the first year was like in Doral. He's been 2 years in Hialeah.
Cool.
Maybe he knows a little bit.
That's awesome. You're a featherweight.
Yeah.
145?
Yeah, 145.
How hard is it for you to cut weight?
It all depends on my diet. It all depends on everything depends on me. If I stay really heavy, of course, I'm eventually gonna have a hard weight cut. It don't matter who I am. Even if I'm used to making weight cuts or anything like that. If I'm walking around too heavy, and and I'm cutting the weight too close to a fight too fast, I could hurt myself. You know what I mean? And I could still make the weight, but it could be hard compared to like, let's say I actually was maintaining short amount of weight, not nothing too big. You know what I mean? So to me, when I'm 20 pounds away, when I'm like walking around 165, it's easier to cut weight. When I'm working on 175, it's like 10 extra pounds, you know? So it's a little different. So, but it is annoying, but I think like already with so much science and so much information out there, we have made it easier for us. To me, it's a little easier now to cut weight than it was back then. And even though I was younger back then, no matter what, I felt like we were just rough in it, being tough. Just cut water and just be crazy in the sauna, putting garbage bags around us, because that's what you do. You put a garbage bag and you just go in there, and then sometimes you just take it off and you grab like a card, and you just be taking your sweat off of you constantly, in and out. I'll be doing like 3 hours, 4 hours, in and out, of course.
Right.
Like the first time I go inside the sauna, I'll do like 30 minutes straight, but then after that I'll go out for 5 minutes, come back in for 10, 15 minutes, go out for another 5, 10 minutes. You do that for so long, you could cut like 10 pounds, you know, 12, 13 pounds in one day, one shot. But it sucks.
I can imagine,
my cheekbones, I'll be like,
right?
bro.
They call it dead
like
face,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Dead face when you can see. You know who used to have nasty dead face was McGregor when he used to drop down in your weight class. Bro, he used to look really disgusting. Yeah, he used to look dead face for real, bro. It was like him, Paulo Costa, bro. When he drops down to 185, he looks crazy.
You know who too? Max Holloway. Max Holloway. When he cuts, he's already. You could tell
he's already like a slim guy.
Like he's more
like a skinnier guy. Yeah,
bony guy, even from the face. Like
because he's lanky. He's long.
You can really see his cheekbones sticking out.
Crazy,
that's crazy.
Bro. Yeah, and those 125 weight cuts for like when TJ Dillashaw and those guys, like who else? What was his name? Cody Garbrandt, when he cut down to 125, he looked crazy.
Yeah, but that's why he couldn't take a shot. If you notice, I believe that. I don't really know because I never made such a weight cut for me to say I have the experience to know that.
Right.
But I think like I do follow a couple of like dietitians and people that have been working with a lot of fighters, and they do talk about bad weight cuts could really lead into like not be able to even take a shot, not be able to perform at 100%. Even though if you train really well and everything, if the weight cut went wrong, it could really affect your performance. You could really cut your performance already just by that. It's crazy.
Bro, I've been an advocate for like hydration tests or some way to add to make it fair, because I know why you fight a featherweight, because if you fought a lightweight, forget about it. Like the guys are cutting weight, they weigh like 190, 200 pounds. They're huge. They're massive.
I wouldn't mind taking it, because you have to look at it like this. It depends always the fight. Like, at 155, I could take a fight against a striker at 155. You know what I mean? I think I could take against anybody regardless. But I'm saying, like, as like, if you give me strikers, I could the possibility of me striking with them and landing, or maybe able to actually take them down, it'll be different than actually if you bring me a 155 that wants to wrestle and wants to grind like that.
Because they throw their weight on you.
Exactly, and it's just it's a bigger body, it's a bigger frame compared to just trying to land that punch, that kick,
right,
that knee, elbow, whatever. Just to put them away, because everybody has always a puncher's chance. That's a guarantee.
Right, of course.
But now to have like a 3-round battle with someone with that big of a weight class, like I could take a fight. I always say I could take a fight at 55, but do a career at 55 is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taking a fight is different. You could go and take a fight at 55. It was great.
Right.
You could even if it's a grappler wrestler. One fight, but career, if they give you strikers, if they give you wrestlers,
it's all in the matchup. It's all
exactly,
in the matchup.
And like you could always land on the wrestler too, but
of course,
like I said, the possibility of if that's that way that guy wants to fight, like a guy like Islam, like Khabib, if they want to fight with you, like they're gonna shoot.
They're gonna take you down.
They're gonna go for it. So it's different. Like if you have to fight those kind of guys, because I've seen guys make jumps and do great. But I see guys do jumps and not do horrible, great, you know what I mean? And I feel it depends the style you fight with.
100%.
I feel like the style I fight with, I could do that, just not like a career.
Not like
not like for me to go start walking around 175, 180.
You're right.
And start dropping to 155.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I was to ever do it regardless, I would do it where I'm at right now. Like, just not cut 10 pounds more. I would just maintain a 65, 70. I'll probably stay at 70, actually, just an extra 5 pounds, and then drop to 55. But I wouldn't like go gain to lose.
To lose, yeah.
Because then it doesn't make sense. The weight cut stays the same. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
If I'm at 20 pounds I don't, like I said, that's when I'm training and I'm peak training, I'm at 65.
Right.
But right now, like I could be at 170. You know what I mean? Just training, just to maintain.
Right.
Because
5 pounds in those lower weight classes is everything. It's huge.
Because I could be at 175, but 175 is me training, but like maintaining, mild. You know what I mean? If I have a day, I do a conditioning class out of the week. I'll be going every day doing the drills and going the live sessions. But then when when you have a fight camp, you start amping it up, you start burning more calories, and you know what I mean? So that's when I start getting lighter. And then when I'm in peak shape, that I'm actually doing 2-3 conditionings a week, I'm running a lot, I'm peaking. I'm normally at 65.
65.
Yeah, that's literally where I'm at. So that's different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna fight at 55, I would just stay like at a 70, but I wouldn't go to 85, 90 to trying to get down to 55.
Right,
It makes
of
the
course.
weight cut again the same. It's gonna make it rough.
Yeah, bro.
And I don't know how I will feel carrying such a big body, because my
course.
thing is speed. My thing is reaction. Like if you see the way I fight with a lot of speed, a lot of movement, a lot of like using my reflex.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yes, I blocking. I like to block too, but I like to use my feet a lot, moving out of the way.
Move, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, being bigger is different.
No,
and
it makes
the guys hit harder.
it makes it different. No, of course.
And the guy hits
Bro.
harder, but the chin is the same. So.
Yeah, exactly. No. Forget about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, Paulo Costa is a great example. That guy walks around at 220, 230, and he cuts down to 185. You're fighting a heavyweight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So how'd you...
But I wonder how good will he be at a like heavier weight class if you don't cut that much weight? You know what I mean?
A light
'Cause
heavyweight...
He's cutting a lot of weight.
He could fight a light heavyweight,
Exactly.
no problem.
So I wonder if you could like... because, like I said, the opponent could give you could make you look different.
Right.
Let's say he goes to 205 and he fights somebody, but destroys him. Then you'd be like, you see, 205 is the weight class for him. No. I would like some science behind it, where like, you know, kind of like, like
It all depends.
like some Mythbusters type of thing.
Yeah.
Some Mythbusters type of thing, like with science, like sports science, where they want to see like
Sports science was good, bro.
Exactly,
They used to break
like
down stuff.
see him train and perform at 185 with like something.
Yeah,
you know,
like
using
analytics
technology,
and like
using
data.
all that using data, and see him at 205, and that's how you tell, because you can't really tell just by the opponent, because the opponent
No,
maybe
'cause it could be
had
a sorry
bad day
matchup.
that day,
Yeah,
and he knocked out fast, and the
Exactly.
other one at the other weight class give him a battle.
Exactly.
It's different fights, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, like, I would like to. I think you don't have to depend on the fight. You just, like I said, through the weeks of him training, see his recovery, see how he's performing while he's training.
Right.
Because you can depend on the fight itself.
For sure.
Because like I said, anything could happen in a fight. You know, you go in a battle or you actually take them out in 1 minute.
Right.
So like what they're training to see, because I believe like everybody belongs at a weight class. You know what I mean? And what happens a lot is that we don't know which one is ours. Like to this day, I always think, is it 35, 45, or 55? I think at 55, I'm a little too short, but who am I to say I'm too short? Michael Chandler's like 5'8". I'm 5'8".
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah, he's bigger.
He's stocky, though.
Exactly.
And he has that, bro. He's super muscular, you know, so it's different.
45, I feel like that's where I
There.
belong. But then I'm like, I see guys like Jose Aldo that went to 35. And when you look at Jose Aldo, I feel like we have almost the same body in the sense, like, big shoulders, not big chest, like a square
Torso.
I don't know if I normally have a little bit more big legs. I don't know if he has big legs, but he's 5'7", I'm 5'8", he's almost the same. And if you look at him, he's very muscular. And you would think like he wouldn't make 135. When he made 135, he still looked pretty good fighting at 135. So I always thought about that. But I don't know. I think 145 is perfect.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think, me personally, I think the MMA definitely needs more weight classes for sure. Even though in those weight classes, they're not too bad because they're only 10 pounds apart. But for sure, there's got to be a system in place to where, bro, the guys that cut down from like 200, you know, it's crazy.
I think
that's
they
insane.
just want to be separate from boxing. I think that's what it is too. Like boxing has like every 5 pounds like a weight class, or every like 5 to 7, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
No, actually no. Like
even less. Even like 8 pounds. 7, 8 pounds.
So I think they're just trying to separate themselves from.
Yeah.
They just want to keep themselves unique. Because 85 to 70 is a 15-pound difference. 70 to 55. Then from there you cut 10.
Right.
All the way to 125.
That's why it's not that bad. And even like in 1FC for the women, they have like atom weight. It goes all the way down to 105.
To 105, yeah.
So up until lightweight is not bad, but from lightweight to welterweight to middleweight to light heavyweight is like there's big jumps.
I think they should have a super heavyweight.
For sure.
I think like 265, like what are these guys that are like 300 something pounds? Like,
Yeah. They can't fight in the UFC.
And you have some real big 300, like people that heavyweights that don't want to cut to 165.
No, but that defeats the purpose of being a heavyweight because heavyweights don't cut weight. You've never had to cut weight.
Exactly.
The UFC is the only place.
I feel like the UFC should have like a one weight class above.
Right, like a super heavyweight.
Like super heavyweight.
You don't have to cut weight. Yeah. Anything 266 and above or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like 66 and up, and you could be 300, and, like think about it. Like I got like like you could end up discovering a guy like a Zion Williamson. You see his body, he's like 300 pounds.
He's massive. Yeah,
he's massive, but he's athletic. You know what I mean? Imagine if he could fight.
Or like a Bob Sapp or something like that. These freaks of nature.
Yeah, but I like Zion more. He's just more agile.
Right.
It fits more for a fighter. I think Bob Sapp was just
Bob Sapp was just a behemoth.
He was just so big, and yes, of course, he hits you like lunchboxes. You know what I mean? Like, just huge hands. You know what I mean? Huge, big body. Yeah. But a guy like Zion, like they could dunk, they could jump. You know what I mean? Like
that's crazy.
Could do flying knees.
Yeah,
like
he's just an athlete.
That is like one crazy athlete if you really think about it.
Because to be that big and weigh that much and do all that, you know.
An NBA player, I think, is a crazy athlete because their ability to jump so high
and weigh that heavy and do all.
Like I seen people at I played in the court where people are like 6 feet, 6'2", and they can't dunk. And then like you look at the NBA, these guys could dunk at 6 feet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at 6.
So 6'2" or 6'3".
Iverson was 5'11", and he could dunk too.
Yeah, he could dunk.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's not what he did constantly, but he had the ability to do it. So like I always think about these guys throwing flying knees.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like, these guys could just easily throw a flying knee, you know what I mean, and just knock anybody out.
That's crazy.
But now, you know, like there's more than that. But basketball players normally have long reach as well because of playing basketball, you know. So it's an interesting athlete, you know.
A basketball player, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
For me...
For fighting football players have been more successful.
Yeah, you guys...
Mitrione.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Greg Hardy's doing... Well, he's in burnout
already out, but you know what I mean?
He had his little...
He did his thing, he had a moment. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think like football players that had more success transferring to MMA than the NBA player. But I think like the NBA body, the athleticism they have...
Would be interesting to see.
But it's just the sport they play... They don't want to come to MMA.
Yeah, exactly. Football players is like you get hit. Rugby players, I mean, look at Volkan Oezdemir.
I was going to say that rugby players, look at Volkan Oezdemir. He's a champion.
Right. Yeah, he used
One
to
of the best, you know what I mean?
No, but you know why? Bro, his leg kicks because he used to weigh like 200-something pounds. And his legs are like super beefed up, you know? I love him, bro. What he's doing and how he... Bro, no one has even been able to give Islam...
Who you think? Him or Islam? Who you thought won that fight?
It's close, bro.
You really think it's close?
Not super close, but it was close enough to where I want to see it again.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
But I thought Islam won. And I'm not really...
That's fair.
I wasn't like... when it comes down to fights, I could be very objective to guys that actually got there before I got there or anything like that. Like, I get a little bit more... maybe personal with the old school people because I don't know what I looked up to.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anybody be around my time or before, I could be more objective about it. You know what I mean? Like I could really look at it and be like, I think it's... But of course, it was close. You could really look at it and say, I think this guy did more of this and this more of that. Right. So it was close. But when I do it with my friends, this is what we do. I always tell them, like, we're going to judge it round by round because that's how it does. Let's act like judges. That's how we...
Right, judge it round by round.
So I go round by round. You cannot go and take back and scratch one. No. That's not how it goes. So you got to go 10-9, 10-8. 10-7 is like you almost killed him. He just didn't get killed.
Even 10-8. 10-8 is already like, bro, you did nothing.
10-8 is that you hurt him a couple of times. Like you say you dropped him like twice in a round. Maybe 3. But he survived. But he never gave up, you know? 10-7 is like maybe the ref should have got it in.
And stopped the fight. Yeah. Like a TKO or something.
So we go like that. And when I finished, I was like, I had 3 rounds of Islam. That's how I saw it. But my friend had like...
I definitely want to see it again, though.
Volkanovski.
Because think about it. Like nobody's even come that close. He's the only guy. And not only that, he dominated 145. And then he said, all right, I'm going to go up and try to get... And then he came close.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see it again. Because, one, no one else has given Islam... even what he did to Oliveira was crazy, bro. Oliveira dominated that division. He beat the best of the best. And then you had Islam come up and beat him and destroy him. So... definitely, it would be cool to see him.
I think like what makes this fight the rematch more interesting is because you do see the evolution, and because I don't think we everybody have seen Volkanovski's grappling so much because he's actually been striking.
Because he's been striking
very
pretty well.
Successfully striking.
Right.
His past like 4 or 5 fights before Islam, before Islam and Yair, before those 2 fights. Let me see. I will say, I think Holloway at one point he grappled with him a little bit. He twitched up a little bit with him.
Brian Ortega got him in the guillotine, but he got out of it and he started. You're right. He hasn't grappled much.
He hasn't grappled. he spent more time striking.
Yeah.
And then he had the Korean Zombie. Sure. Then he had this other fight where he was just more striking these guys. You know what I mean? So now you're starting to see his grappling, and when you saw him like, you know, getting back off from the one thing you didn't see is him escaping the back from Islam.
Yeah.
He got caught up in the body triangle and he's like stuck there. But when it came down to like getting off from his takedowns, like he would get up. And he tried to take him down. Didn't he take him down? No, he tried. He tried. Ethan didn't accept it, but then when you see what he did to Yair, and it was just domination, using his strength, his smart too. You know, there was a moment that him and Yair were going at it, and Yair cracked him with a cross, and he just clinched up right away. And like he's a smart fighter, very smart fighter, but very tough. You know what I mean? And we just see him evolve with his grappling, like he's starting to put it together. I think he was just striking too much, and eventually he may use the grappling, but he's starting to put it together, and that's a big good fight against that. But Isam is fighting Oliveira again, so that's you're not having that one.
What I love, man, let me tell you, what I love. First off, I've been watching the UFC since, and MMA in general since, you know, that first fight that you had with Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin and. That was my introduction into the MMA.
2003.
Around there, yeah. I was just entering high school, and I was just like, man, this is awesome. You know? So, and then coincidentally, my stepfather and my stepbrother knew a little bit about. Well, my stepfather knew a lot about wrestling, so I started doing it like in my backyard, and they started teaching me a little bit. And I've always loved fighting, bro, because fighters have a different mentality. They have a different look out in life.
Yeah.
I have a lot of different people on the show, but what they all have in common is the mindset. You know what I mean? Like the way they think, the way they see life. And fighters, you guys, first off, not a lot of people are willing to do that. It's like, give it all you got, and if you won, it's because you won, and if you lost, it's because you lost. Like, it's up to me. It's all in my preparation. Either I prepared and I did really well and I was able to beat this guy, or I wasn't. You know what I mean? And it's fair. It's like honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like man versus man. We weigh the same. We both train hard. We're both good fighters. We get in a cage and we settle it. Like, there's few things in life that are like that. Like, you know what's coming and you're willing to accept it, and you're like, all right, I gotta fight this guy. Like, that's some scary shit, bro. You know, like to lock yourself in a cage and fight somebody and be willing to get hit. And I just love the mentality of fighters, bro. Like,
it's the risk. It's the risk because you know, you're not being provoked. You know what I mean? Like, if you provoke me, let's say
on the street
you did something exactly.
Yeah, it's different.
You do something in the streets where you provoke me, I got hot head and I just got hot and I just wanted to, like, you know, hit you. You got my emotions to go. But when you get in a cage fight, you're not really upset.
Exactly.
I mean, everything is cold. Everything is just being smart, you know.
I mean, there's always the trash talking at like press conference and that kind of stuff.
But to be honest, like all of that could get you hot during the
press conference.
All that moment. I'm talking about the day of the fight. The day of the fight, you're trying to be in the zone. You're trying to be in your zone. However you get there. Everybody gets there differently. Everybody has their own way. Some people pray. Some people don't. Some people just go start screaming. Ah!
You see
in the locker room.
You see the
Some
locker room.
people start punching the wall.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Everybody has a different process.
Some people are meditating.
Yeah.
Some people just very like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just focus, just quiet. You know, everybody's different.
And it's interesting to see that before the fight.
You have to find yours.
You have to find your way, yeah.
Yes, it takes time. I used to be more robotic. I used to be more like, yes, sir, no, sir, we're going to do it. And I'll just, now what I do, I start like, I do a lot of footwork, so I start like, not dancing around like I'm actually having a song, but I just started like doing a lot of like, kind of like a little bit like Muhammad Ali. You see Muhammad Ali when he starts dancing around, moving his foot? I do that a lot. It keeps me relaxed. It keeps me ready.
You loose.
And then I start shadow boxing a little bit.
Yeah.
And that right there keeps me loose. And then I'm just very focused. You know what I mean? I'm very focused. And
people see you fight, and obviously it's a physical thing because you have to train. But I love the mental side of fights. Like, a lot of people don't know that you guys have. I don't know if you do, but a lot of fighters have sports psychologists and that kind of stuff, and they really have to get in a certain space of mind. I know I don't know, like I said about you, but I know some fighters go train somewhere like far away where they're not even around family, and they're like super focused so that their mind is on nothing but the fight. And I just love that mental process of getting yourself in that mind state of peak performance of I'm the best, I need to get this done. That's so awesome to me, bro. You know what I mean? So. That's why I love I love fighting in general, man. It's just because me personally, as that guy who's always been about, I've learned over the past 10, 12 years, that's what my book is about. It's about the mindset. Like, the way you think and the way you see things mentally is everything. And in a fight, it's two guys that are the same weight. They both have great skills, but sometimes all it comes down to is, am I there?
That's 100%. That's like, you could train the body all you want. If the mindset is not right, it's not right. You know what I mean? And like, you know, the reason everybody could relate to fighting is because it's like, there's one thing Dana White always says, and I agree with him, is that fighting is in everybody's DNA. You're born with that instinct, of thinking, of feeling, and of like, let's say, you know, you drop to this or boom, boom, you know what I mean, however you believe we came up. But at one point we were cavemen, you know what I mean?
Right,
we were like, we were not taught stuff, we kind of had to learn them on our own, I guess, you know what I mean?
100%.
When you, as a regular human, you learn how to, like, you know what running is, you know what jumping is, you know, fighting is part of that too.
100%.
You're about to, something's chasing you, you have to fight back. You know, it was an animal, it was something, but you have to fight back.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have to fight for survival, you know what I mean? So, or hunt, like I said, hunting is part of it too. It's natural for you to go out there and look for food.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you need to. You know what I mean? It's just in our it's inside of us.
It's a part of being human.
Yeah, exactly. So fighting is part of it. That's why everybody could relate to it. Whether you like it or not, whether you're not a fan of the sport, you're not a fan of that, because some people are just not a fan. You know, you got, especially like, you know, there's certain fighters that their moms will support them a lot, you know, but they don't like it, you know what I mean? They don't like their kids in there, you know what I mean? My mom supports me, she likes it. She actually likes boxing, so her seeing me doing this, it was fine for her. But you have parents that don't like that, you know? But
and I get it. You're seeing a loved one get hurt. I get it, you know, but for me, it just goes beyond that. You, like, martial arts is such a true expression of the person, you know what I mean? That, and taking it back to, like, Bruce Lee, how he, like, godfathered the whole thing, that's what it's really all about, like, because you see a fighter's style, what they like to do in the ring, like, all those things are a part of his personality and part of the martial art, like, expressing yourself, you know what I mean? And, yeah, it's violence, but it's just part of, it's the same thing when a rapper makes a song, when an artist draws a painting. Like, when a fighter fights, it's like artistic in a way, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. You see him, like, that's him in his purest form.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's him with no negative bullshit around him, no drama, no nothing. Like, all the bad shit in his life stripped away. Who he is, this is who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something I really appreciate. You know,
and you can't really fake fighting.
You can't fake it at all.
I think that was what. Yeah, you can't really fake it.
You have to be authentic.
Yeah, like you know, has athletes out there gone there and probably sabotage their fights or something like that. Athletes always do that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they, you know, they're in there. They walked in. They closed that cage. You ready? You ready? That believe it or not, those words, like, is let's go. And is, you know what is crazy? Like, sometimes, like, this is my sport. This is what I love. But there is times that I look at it and I see, like, people, you know, cheering a fight, and I'm like, everybody just watching two people fight each other. Like, people, like, I love it. This is what I do, you know what I mean? I love this, you know what I mean? And I look at it as a sport and as an art, and like, everything that you just said. But the reality at one point is, like,
everybody came here to see two people
trying to hurt each other. One is trying to hurt the other, you know what I mean? Like, they're 100%. Hurting each other, man, you know what I mean? And it's crazy when I see it, because sometimes I'm like, like I told you, as I just said earlier, it's in our DNA. Everybody gets excited. You see people when they get drunk, they're there. You can see the passion in the crowd, and the fans watching two people just it's crazy, man. We just remember from the Roman times, where people were just
gladiators.
Gladiators, come on, man. So it's just in our
part
DNA, exactly.
Being human, 100%.
Yeah.
And even before MMA, obviously we have boxing. And boxing matches were huge, bro. Back, even you could take it as far back as you want, you know, like even Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey, you still had arenas and shit full of people coming to see these people fight each other. And, like, for me, greats in fighting, they just have a different aura. When you talk about guys like Rocky Marciano or Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson, like, they're just different people. You know what I mean? And let me tell you, Mike Tyson, like the new stuff he's coming out with and how he's been with his brand and like podcasting and like talking, he never would have been like that if he was never a fighter.
Okay.
Like if you think about that, all that came from fighting. And all that all his self-discovery and the things he's learned about himself, it was all because of fighting. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because most people can't really understand that, but I understand that because you put yourself through so much like adversity and you have to do so many hard things to become a great fighter.
Yeah.
That process of purifying yourself, it's like you become the best version of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It will teach you a lot of things. You know what I mean? Bro. It'll teach you a lot of things, but you know, the one thing that the biggest adversity of fighting is like is still a sport that really depends a lot on your grind and everything else. Like you don't really gonna get sponsors like that. Like you know when you become a NBA player, an NFL player, a hockey player, and soccer or baseball, any major leagues, because UFC is one of the major leagues. I get that, but what I'm saying is like everything you do before that, everything has been you investing in it, your money, your grind. You know what I mean? Like, even if you're a prodigy, you don't got companies flying to throw their money at you compared to, like, when you're in the NBA. You know, these guys get, right from the beginning, from college, they're already getting scouted. Yeah. Scouted, you know, with sponsorship ready to just get in there in front of them. And that's one thing, like, we don't have as a fighter. So we really, I've seen a lot of, like, talented fighters that trying to make it, and then all of a sudden, other things came to their lives, and they had to like pause it, and they had to move it because money didn't come in sometimes. Right. But that's what makes the greats because they went through figure it out. Yeah, bro. You have to grind and figure it out. Like,
and they go through. You know what I mean? The stories you hear of what fighters have to go through, bro, to make it. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, bro.
Like when you like working 9 to 5. I think I never worked 9 to 5. I had to work from 5 to up because I had to make sure I had to work from like 3 o'clock and up because I always have to make sure I have the mornings for the pro class.
Right, of course.
I mean, I'm training with the pro fighters. I don't want to really train in the afternoon, but it's just the regular guys, and I don't get ready for fight. How am I going to train like that? You know, so I always make sure I had
the morning free.
My morning free even when I was working at Fight Club. If you notice, at Fight Club, I worked in the mornings. Yeah. That period of 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, it was for me to train with my team, my coaches. And then I'll go home, nap, come back, and then 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, private after that, you know what I mean? Working from there on at Fight Club. So I always found a schedule because I had to train for fight, I had to train with the pro class. You know, so.
Right. Yeah, bro. That's just so many characteristics that fighters have that I love. Discipline is a big one. Like hard work, determination. When you see a fighter, bro, and he's losing a fight, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Fuck that, I'm not gonna lose it." And you see the dog come out of him. Yeah. That's.
Everybody reaches that point.
Everybody, right?
Everybody reaches the point that I would say they. I don't want to insult and say they want to quit, but you get to a point,
the breaking point,
a little breaking point, and then you decide,
no way,
let's go. Yeah. You know, even if you still lose the fight. But you did say no to yourself. Like you said, no, I'm not gonna quit right now. But I know everybody at one point, especially like very tired, getting hit, bad positions. You're probably mounted,
beat up, like, getting beat up,
and then next round, and you're like, whoa, I got one more round. I'm done. I'm tired. We just finished this round. He mounted me and beating me up. You know what I mean? So going into the next round, you know, your coaches are waking you up. Sorry. No, you're good. The coaches are waking you up, throwing knives, slapping you up. Sometimes my coach has slapped me up before. Like, wake up. You're going into a third round because I was already like this. Right. And to be honest, I needed that. He slapped me and he was like, yo, you got to go get that. And I went and I get that. I got that. He couldn't take me down after that. Remember, we just came out of this round being mounted. That means he took me down and mounted me. And at one point, I just couldn't push him away. Then God, the bell rang. And then we go to a third round and I won that one. So... yeah, like you're gonna have that moment that's the moment you question yourself and you talk to yourself and you say, what are you made of? You know what I mean? Like, and you just gotta go.
Yeah, man.
Like, and it doesn't matter. I lost fights like that. I lost fights where I got to a breaking point and I said no, and I went and I fought my ass off, but I still lost. He beat me by points. But the point is that because the last thing you want is where you didn't, you lost because you did quit, and then to go home, you're not gonna sleep.
Man, I didn't.
You're not gonna sleep. You could tell anybody, and you could tell everybody any excuse you want, or everybody could tell you, no, man, you did amazing. You could feel that way. You could, but only you know if you did or you did not. You know what I mean? And you, if you are a person that is very prideful or takes a lot of pride in that about that, you're not gonna be able to sleep.
100%.
But if you know you did push, that you did get that breaking point, but you said, hell no, I'm gonna keep fighting, and you kept fighting and you still lost, it happened, but you didn't quit, and that's what matters. Bro, as a fighter, you need to have that. I met many talented people, they get pushed to a breaking point, they break.
And they quit, bro.
And you got guys that they're not as talented, that you can't break them.
No matter what you do to him, no matter how hard you push him.
No matter what. Look, man, my boy Nate the Train, shout out to Nate the Train. He took me to Canada last time, and man, he's just that guy. Like, you know what I mean? He had an amazing fight, and, you know, first 2 rounds, he got hurt at the end of each round, but he just doesn't quit. Like, that's one guy you have to put him away. You have to, like this, there's certain people that you can't leave them breathing. You can't leave them breathing, man. We're about to get into the Saturday fight. Those 2 guys are,
they're those guys.
Chandler and Poirier, they're
those guys. You have to put them away, bro. You have to put them away.
So you gotta put them away. You can't leave them. For you to leave them breathing and beating them up is because you were just so skilled.
Yep.
You were just so skilled. You picked them apart. You hurt them, and they never got to touch it. But if you were gonna get into like and even then, like I said, it's just hard because they still have skill. They're not skilled fighters themselves. You know what I mean? So,
but what sets them apart is that they're dogs, bro. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about MMA, man. It's just you're putting yourself. There's few other things. I mean, I've been in that position in business and in life. That breaking point of like, man, things are so hard right now. Like, and making that, you find out in that moment, like, what you're made of, bro. Like, no, I'm all right. I have no money. I have this business idea. Everything's falling apart. I'm about to go bankrupt, but no, screw that, dog. I'm gonna figure it out. And that's what I love. Like, you've seen these fighters. I mean, I can name, Chandler's been one of them that's been in that position. Poirier multiple times. Just these guys.
Oliveira, if you look at
Oliveira's been hurt. Chandler hurt him in that one fight.
No, and not only that, but like, he at one point had like a little bit of a weird reputation. People were like, always taking shots at him in previous fights before he actually went on that win streak and became a champion. And not only that he became a champion, but he became a champion and
beating the top guys, bro.
Beating the top guys, but the way he did, which it was like always kind of overcoming, because each one of those fights,
he got hurt.
You know what I mean? And he came back and hurt them. So it's good to hear stories like that. You know what I mean?
Bro,
I heard a story. I haven't really seen the whole podcast because people told me about it. It was the Ngannou one. Ngannou talked
Francis
about
Ngannou. Yeah,
the
one I saw was when he was with Joe Rogan. I saw the whole thing. Super inspiring, bro.
So I never heard of it. My boy was telling me, we were talking about it. And he was like, "Oh, he said that he went through this, he went through that," and I was just like, "Yeah, so."
Yeah, bro.
It's hard, man.
Inspiring stuff.
Like, some people have like some great stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Some great stories.
That's what I'm saying. It's the personification of that underdog story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Fighters are the physical manifestation of like that process human beings have to go to like accomplish a dream and like become the best version of themselves and become that guy that said, "Yeah, I did it." You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the physical manifestation of that mental, spiritual process. I love it, man. I'm not even like a football fan. I'm not a basketball fan. I'm not that guy.
I'm a sports fan. I love all.
I like sports, and I'll watch it, and I'll know a little bit about stats, and I'll know about players, because I love greatness as a whole. Like, I love great basketball players. I love great athletes. I love great business people. I love great writers. Like, I just love people who are like good at what they do, and have passion for what they do.
All right,
you know what I mean?
Passion is the number one.
Like,
I always talk about that. I always say that, yes, you gotta have a great work ethic. Yes, you gotta have discipline, and there's all. But if you don't have passion,
if you don't love what you do, forget about it.
It's just gonna be very hard.
Especially when you're getting punched in the face.
But if you do have all those things, you're gonna be great.
Fantastic, yeah, bro.
You're gonna be great. You know what I mean?
And then you combine that with being a
passion
dog,
comes
you
with
know?
obsession. You know what I mean? Is it me?
Yes.
You gotta be obsessed with what you like and what you do. You know what I mean? If
100%,
you're
man.
not, you could still be great, but you know, you're not gonna be the great, the GOAT, how everybody talks about, you know?
Right.
It was like to be that guy, like the one that separates himself from everybody, the unique person, you know, you have to have obsession.
Definitely.
In anything you do, you know what I mean? But the other things have to go with it too. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, work ethic, discipline.
I met guys. You've seen people. You know, I've been a coach. So I've been observing a lot. You know what I mean? I've been a coach since I was 30, and I observe people sometimes with passion, but like horrible discipline.
Yeah, it's not good either.
And then you could see they love it. They love it. You could see it in them, and you could see the talent. God damn, show up more to the gym. You know what I mean? Train more. You know it happens. You know what I mean? So. And you see the people with like a lot of passion, but like you know what I mean.
The only guy I can think of,
talent.
the only guy I can think of that it's like, bro, he's just so talented that you can't is Jon Jones.
Okay,
yeah, bro, that's the only that. But there's always one that's like, all right, he's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
Because that, bro, what he just did, where he just won the heavyweight belt, that's like that. I compare that to Tom Brady winning the 8th Super Bowl ring.
Yeah,
you know, that's like I was already the GOAT.
Or 7th, I can't remember.
Good question. I don't know. It's 7. It might be 7.
Yeah.
But it was like that. It was like Tom Brady leaving the Patriots, going to the Bucks, and then winning another one.
Yes.
That's what Jon Jones just did. I was already the GOAT, but now I'm gonna go up in weight class and I'm gonna win my second title, my second division, and I'm gonna beat Cyril Gahn, bro. That people.
No, I don't.
That guy's good.
No. I don't discredit him for that. Because, you know what I mean.
It would have been nice to see him fight Francis Ngannou, but you know that.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Unfortunately.
It's just not gonna happen.
Francis should have waited until he fought him to leave.
I don't really see anybody beating Jon Jones in the heavyweight division.
No way.
I think in the light heavyweight division, I think the only person it was Jiri, but
Prochazka?
Only because of striking, nothing else. I think like Jon Jones will take him to the ground and it's over.
Yeah.
I saw Jiri mounted by Glover Teixeira. Imagine Jon Jones on top of the mount with those elbows. Like,
forget it.
Exactly. No,
and I think, let me tell you, I think Glover almost won that fight. Like if it wasn't for that last minute little.
No, he was gonna win the fight by points. But there was a lot of really bad positions that
Glover got him to. Yeah.
That I feel like if you allowed a guy like Jon Jones, which
he would
is
have finished
a better athlete, because that really matters. You know, they both have great technique. I know that Teixeira is a great technician in the ground, but Jon Jones is a better athlete.
Yeah.
So
100%.
he could always have those situations where he's in the mountain, he could just burst with some great elbows and just the body could just do more than Teixeira's body. It's just that simple. A better athlete. That's why being a great athlete still matters in any sport. You know what I mean? Yes, we all know Tom Brady wasn't the greatest athlete at his position, but it does matter. It's like if you and you know, football's a little different because you know, let's think about it. Like let's say Tom Brady would have been drafted by
another team,
the Colts when the Colts had
Peyton Manning.
No, the other one after Peyton Manning.
Andrew Luck
retired. He retired already.
John Unitas?
No, he retired already from the Colts. Because he
recently?
Because he retired like 2 years ago.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. You know, he never went through like that kind of like sacks. You know what I mean? He was protected pretty well at his.
He always had a great team, great team members, great coach.
Exactly. So he got sacked, and there was games that he got sacked probably a good amount one time. But there's been other quarterbacks that really get sacked.
They got beat up.
They got beat up a lot, and that's why. So imagine if like Tom Brady's body would have gone through that. I don't know if it would have lasted the same. You know, things like that could play a factor. But being a great athlete matters a lot. Just put in the technique, and now you got a lethal weapon.
Seriously, bro. It's crazy, bro, man. I have so much love for the sport, bro. Let me tell you.
Thank you.
Danny, it's been a pleasure having you here, dog.
Nah, thank you, man.
We got to do this again sometime for sure. So I always end everything with 3 questions before I let everybody go. One, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Man, competition.
I love that, bro.
You know, I just like competing. I'm a very competitive person with everything. Like, it's crazy. Sometimes I even tell myself I'm crazy.
Some people don't understand how important like competition is.
Playing just, I keep saying to myself, like, it would be crazy me getting old and not be able to even jump a fence. Like, because like now I can't do nothing like that. Like I might have to compete playing chess or something. But I have to compete. Like competition is always
is super important. It's always
been a thing in my life.
Yes,
in my life with everything, with everybody.
Super important.
I come with a lot of siblings. You know what I mean? And we competed against each other. A lot of cousins. You know what I mean? Also, you know, I'm 36 years old, so you know, come from an era where a lot of people had kids. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of cousins, and we competed it too. I have friends in the streets. I competed with
competition
them
is so important,
and I'm always been very competitive with everything in life. So competition is always.
I love to compete, not because I love to embarrass other people. It's not about that. Competing is about who's the best. Like
yes,
and let's see who's the best. And oh man, you beat me. All right, now I gotta get better. That factor of self-improvement and competition is so important.
And in everything, like so I said, important. Even playing chess, man. Like I compete. Like I compete in everything. Like sometimes people say, "Man, you too competitive." Sometimes I'm like, "Bro," but like that's just me. My problem is I get emotional. Sometimes I don't like losing. You know what I mean? I'll be in the park, especially if I'm playing ball with my boys and one of them is slacking and we're losing because I'm like, "Hey man, stop slacking." I get very competitive. I get a little emotional.
That just means you're built to be a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're built to be a winner.
I just like, man, I just compete. That's like you said.
That's awesome. So second question: how do you want to be remembered?
A great person.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I think like that should be everything. I want to be known as a great fighter too. Everything like that, but I think the main thing I just want people to know me as a great person, because that's like we all try to. That's one of the most important things.
For sure.
Like I love my career. I'm like I always say I'm married to my career. I've done so many sacrifices to make this happen, but. Not just being known as a great fighter, I want to be known as a great human being. I mean, important. I think that's one of the most important things, how you connect with others, not just as a fighter, because you could be an amazing fighter but a shitty person. For sure. You know what I mean? So that's not really the right way to inspire people. That's not where you're going to inspire people. For sure. I could inspire kids to want to be fighters just as good as I am, but I could inspire them to be great people. Great people even more. Exactly. When you're a good person, you inspire them even more to do good things. Do both, of course. Inspire them to do both. Hey, be a great fighter, but be a great human being. Great person. Because, you know, I'm a big believer that there's a lot of like... what are they called? Mental health issues going on. I see a lot of people going through a lot of stuff, and you see it more. I think it's because it's getting more light. I think people are getting to even express it more. It's been easier for them to like express it, which I think is a good thing. We still have to sometimes battle things on our own. You know, we have to. You know, I feel like we don't always have to. Everything has to be help, but I think sometimes we do need help. I mean, I think it's a balance. Sometimes we gotta go through adversities ourselves. You know, it makes us tough. For sure. But there's times that, you know, you want a vent or you need somebody to give you an advice. You need just to listen to you. It's a balance between both. You know, it's kind of like, you know, it's good to be independent, but if you need help, nothing wrong with asking for help. Of course. You see what I'm saying? So it's a balance in life that you got to look. And I think I see so many kids growing up and going through like a lot of, like I said, insecurities, mental issues, just a lot of stuff is going on. You know what I'm trying to say? That I see the new generation growing in, like, with a lot of, like, especially, like I said, a lot of depression. You see that the most. Like, there's a lot of depression. I was actually watching recently a stat where it says that from 2010 and up, depression has gone up. You know what I mean? And coincidentally, social media was kind of like around that same era. I don't know if that makes an impact, but at the end of the day, it's just be good to others, man, you know, and just be a great person. You know what I mean? We all have flaws. It's understandable, but let's always try to do better and be better. You know what I mean? Important, man. Because I made mad mistakes. I am right now who I am because of the mistakes I made and the great things great things I do too. You know, but I made a lot of mistakes and I learned from them. You know what I mean? And it's made me a better person. You know what I mean? And I feel like if I could become a better person, you could become a better person. Anybody could become a better person. Anybody could change. You know what I mean? It's just up to you. You know what I mean?
Couldn't have said it better, man. Last question. What's next for you?
Fighting.
You got any fights coming up?
Yeah. Well, I was, when did this come out?
Probably a couple weeks.
Well, exactly. All right. Well, no, I got injured, so I had to pull out of my fight. I was going to fight August 19.
Okay.
We haven't told the promotion, so I was like, yo,
it'll be out.
Nah, it's cool.
It'll be out in a couple weeks.
No, we're letting them know this week. That's why.
Perfect. There you go.
We're letting them know this week. So I just got the papers today from the MRI. I got hurt like about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I was just trying to tough it out, see if actually
if you can make it.
If I could still train with it. Like I was giving like 3 weeks to see what happens. Just don't work with it. I was just kicking, punching, and doing cardio.
Right.
But when I was doing cardio, I was sprinting with my arm tight. Going like that because I couldn't leave it loose. So when I realized I still haven't recovered, I said, go get an MRI because, I've been doing therapy on it, like PRP, which is plasma. Shout out to Dynamic Wellness because they're hooking me up with everything. They've been doing laser therapy, everything, you know what I mean? And it still feels uncomfortable. So I got the MRI. I just got the papers today. I'm going to get there. What I was reading into it, my boy was telling me about it because I'm reading it, but it's doctor language.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't get this. This is a jab, cross, hook, you know what I mean? It sounds like it's like my AC joint and that I have like rotator cuff tendinitis, which it sounds good because it's not my rotator cuff messed up.
Or tear or something.
Tendinitis means it's inflammation with water around the rotator cuff. That's what I think it is. So it's we were Googling, it says a 6 to 12 week recovery. I've already been 3 weeks recovering regardless. So, but that's not a doctor. That's what my boy said when I sent him the paper. So he's not a doctor either. So it may be, but as I'm reading, it said mild this, mild that. Nothing said severe.
Yeah, just some rest.
Yes, no, exactly. So I'll say in a couple of weeks I should get better. I don't know if we're gonna push the same fight back or is he gonna just get another fighter and I have to get another fighter by then. What I want to do is maintain my body in good shape.
For sure.
Because by the time I actually could really come back 100% to camp, I'm not starting from zero, from scratch. I've been still with my good cardio, good physique, good shape. I'm still eating like if I'm, I could cheat here and there now because I'm not really fighting, but I'm still eating very healthy Monday to Friday, maintaining like a good diet. You always eat, technically we Latinos kind of like eat healthy as long as we don't use so much oil. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rice, beans, vegetables, chicken, steak, that's just regular food that we always eat, pasta, stuff like that. It's just, the fried stuff, like, the empanadas. The croquetas,
the Miami
the pastelitos,
food, the stuff we love to eat,
and then we eat them at bad times. That's actually the problem.
At night,
exactly. I eat them at 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm getting donuts. I'm getting, you know what I mean? Man. Those are the worst times. That's the problem. Is that something? Because you could have once in a while. There's nothing wrong with
like late night, pulling up to Versailles,
But yeah, my next fight, I'm just looking forward to the next one after that because I'm canceling this one this week and because now we found out really what it is, and it's gonna take like at least
a few weeks to
recover. It's been 3. It should take probably like another 6, because literally the way I feel, I still can't push and do certain things. Like you could feel it right here. So I'll give it like 6 more weeks to be able to start a camp again. So we'll say what is 6 weeks from now. 6 weeks from now it should be already like close to September.
Right.
So I'll say like ends of September, beginnings of October. I should already have something lined up.
Awesome. All right. So. Perfect. I'm excited. I'll definitely watch the fight. So tell people how to connect with you.
Hey man, just reach me. Everybody reach me on Instagram, dwarrior875, and the new Threads is new. Same thing. I think it's connected to the Instagram. Twitter the same way. Actually, that's always my Facebook I hacked, so I actually don't have a Facebook. Those are the only ways you can reach me. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here.
Definitely, brother.
Shout out to you guys, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Long time no see.
Yeah. And first of many,
3-4 years?
No, like 5 years.
Because I remember when you were training, I'd be like, where you at? Where you been?
Yeah, bro.
And then like COVID hit. Fight Club closed.
Fight Club closed down.
And then
that's crazy.
Everybody, everybody started doing different things.
We'll do this again for sure. Next time you have a fight, we'll promote it
for sure.
We'll do some stuff. Good seeing you, bro.
For sure.
Alrighty, guys. That was another episode of Montana Method Podcast. Nelson Rodriguez Jr. signing out. Push it to the limit. The world is yours. And as always, if you're not chasing a dream, life is meaningless, guys. Till the next one.
I've been out here hustling all my life. Every day we get into it. Really Really out here in these streets, that's day and night. Like there's nothing to it. When I was going through it, dog, I never got your call. I never asked for nothing, no, but now I want it all. I promise I'ma do it. Came from rags to riches, rags to riches. Came from rags to riches, rags to riches. Came from rags.